good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I know we have people joining us from different parts of the world. So good day to you from wherever you're joining us from. I am Lola Aneke and I welcome you. I gladly welcome you as always to episode 51 of Finding Out with Special Needs. Hello, Mr. Alex. Thank you so much for joining us yet again today. Thanks for all that you do and for making this show truly inclusive. Thank you so much. So, it's episode 51 of Finding Out with Special Needs, and our topic for today is visioning and children with special needs. When I put out the write up and the flyer, I always give a little hint as to what we're discussing. And I said in my write up that most times when children are diagnosed with special needs or disability, we find out that most times everyone, the parents, the family members, the members of the society, they see the disability first before the individual. And then by the time they realize that some of these disabilities or categories of special needs are lifelong or it's progressive. It gets better by the day if the right intervention is put in place. They pay more attention on finding a way to make the child be like the word we use in Nigeria normal, be typical like every other child. That they forget every other aspect of the child, and that's why we're talking about visioning and children with special needs today. But before I go on, I want to thank every of our viewers from different parts of the world, from France, from the UK, from US. I think I'm from South Korea, from India, from China. Thank you all so much. And most especially from Africa and Nigeria. Thank you all for making it a beautiful start each time we gather because if you were not listening, then we won't be speaking, really. And we've come a long way. I want us to all celebrate ourselves. It's been 61 weeks of finding up with specialists. And I want to believe, I truly do believe, because I've gotten several feedback from most of our audience and viewers saying that they're glad we do what we're doing because they've been able to use the strategies and all the um, nuggets they've learned on this show to help their friends and families and even children with special needs. So thank you all so much. Vicky. Thank you. You're always on time to class. You actually start this a classroom where we come to learn, and then we come with our papers and pen. I have my own my notebook. My usual notebook is finished really. So I have my new jotter and my pen so that we can learn. So I want to welcome you. I want to welcome everyone. Blessing Dape, Pamela Mano, everyone that has joined us on our Cadet Academy website, for everyone that has joined us on YouTube, for everyone that joined us on Facebook, on my platform, Lola Aneke on Facebook, and on Cadet Academy. Thank you all. We truly appreciate you. We do not take this for granted. Thank you all so very much. We truly appreciate you. That's about today's show, and I really want to thank you all. Without much ado, I was inviting my guests for today, and they're two beautiful ladies. I usually have a little chat with them by video, and when I saw them, like, oh my God, you guys are looking fly. Let me use that language. Looking takeaway. Beautiful ladies, knowledgeable in the field of of experience, and they're going to be with us today. We have Selin and we have Angela. They will introduce themselves when I bring them up. Bring them up. Yeah, Selin. Hello, Selin. Hi,
Hi,
Angela. Can you both hear me loud and clear?
hi,
Can
how
you
are
hear
you?
me?
Yes,
Can you? Because I want our viewers and our audience to let me know they can hear our guests clearly. Angela, can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear Angela. I might have to also use my earpiece because it's quite faint. Vicky, could you let us know if you can hear guests so that you can take away um, value today from today's show? Angela, if you can hear me, we can't hear you. I think you're frozen. Oh, Vicky can hear me. Can you hear the guests also? Great,
yeah, I can
great,
hear
great.
you.
Thank you so much. Sally, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you. Not so loud, but it's clear. It's okay.
So, and
Hello?
when you do, tell us, hello, Angela, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Great, 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 great. So I'm what we usually do on signing up with special needs is that whenever I read the bios of my guests, I'm always so wild, really. I'm always so wild. I'm just like John the Baptist that said to Jesus, "I'm not worthy to buckle down." So please, I would like you to please blow your trumpet. You're doing great, both of you. I'm particularly proud of you, Angela, really. And I'm really, really proud of you. Just telling you, know how proud I am of you, of the great works you're doing. So I want you to tell us about yourself and what you're doing. No, yes, don't hold anything back. Thank you so much. Selling over to you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lola, for having me on here. It feels great, to be on your platform. You're someone I truly admire, and you are someone who portrays one thing that I teach about, which is focus. I always say that your level of focus is just something else. And thank you so much for having me on here. And good evening, everyone. My name is Selena Unogu, and I am the founder of the Selena Unogu Vision Academy, which is a visioning and visualization company. And so many people might be wondering why I set up a company just for visioning and visualization. Yes, the happenings around Nigeria and in Africa led me to this because we tend to lose focus of what we are supposed to drive towards in future. We lose focus of the things that are important because of the challenges and the things that pull us back, or the things that happen around us. So passionately, I launched out and I registered this company. And what I do is I take my clients on a journey where they are able to see the future that they desire. And I also use visualization methods to help them stay aligned, focused to get that which they want, because I know the problems that we have, in our personal lives and also in our country, which is staying focused on a particular goal and achieving it. So I use visualization.
Uh-oh. We lost her for a bit. I'm sure she'll be back. And like you always say on the show, we are not moved by whatever the internet is doing to us. It is what it is, but we have to do what we have to do. So over to you, Angela, before Sally returns. I know she'll be back. Please tell us about you.
Okay. My name is Angela Ikomola. I'm a board certified qualified behavior analyst. I'm also an autism specialist and a supervisor, and a mother of a child with autism. I started my journey in this field like 6 years ago. I would say seven, shortly after my son was diagnosed as a child on the spectrum. And then my quest for knowledge and just wanting something good for him caused me to delve into this industry. So it's been quite a journey and an interesting one. I've learned and I'm still learning every day. And one thing I know for sure is that there is hope. There is hope for children living with developmental difficulties and disabilities. I can say that now. When I first found out about my son, I felt hopeless. I felt lost. But thankfully, today, with all that I know and all that I've seen and the progress we've made, I can say for sure, I can say this to parents of children with developmental difficulties and disabilities, that there is hope, there's a way, there's a tomorrow, a better tomorrow. So that's
Angela, you're being too modest. Tell us about what you're doing. You have a center for children
Oh
with special
yeah.
needs. Yeah, tell us about
Okay.
the great works you're doing over there.
Okay. I run an NGO. It's called EFATA Initiative. EFATA is a Greek word for be open. It's actually a biblical term. It's used in the Bible. Um, So what we do is we use ABA technology basically to teach children with developmental disabilities, to teach them skills to modify their behavior, and then just the main goal is just to give them an opportunity to live an independent, functional life. Um, I also supervise paraprofessionals or teachers that are handling children with special needs to be sure that they are doing what they are supposed to do at every point in time. So I think basically that's what we do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Angela. Over to you, Selling. We lost you for a bit, but the first question is actually coming to you, so it's a good thing. I want you to round up about your introduction, and why, once you're done, I want you to explain to us what vision is all about and how it relates to our topic for today, which is visioning and children with special needs. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm sorry about that.
That's
So
okay.
I registered. I set up the visioning company just to help people.
Oh, she's gone again. Wow. I'm sure she'll be back. Okay. So while we wait for her to be back again, Angela, we're going to be having this discussion anyway. When we were
Okay.
speaking, when we were speaking, I don't like to generalize, but um, from me relating with parents of children with special needs, and even on our show, like I think that was 2, 3 shows back, you know, um, we had Mrs. Ifeko Karido White, and we had, hey, she's here. I think I'll let you speak, and then I'll come back to you. So back to you, Celine. You are going to talk to us today, whether the devil likes it or not, or whether the internet likes it
Hello,
or not. You're going to talk to us today.
I can't believe it today. I don't know what's going on today, but it's
Hmm.
fine. We're going to see the end of
That's
it, right?
okay. Yeah, we're going to have this discussion.
Okay,
So
so
go ahead.
visioning is something that I'm passionate about because it's important for people to have clarity, and it's important for people to look into the future, for people to look ahead. There's a whole lot which happens around us, that can really affect us in so many ways, and it can affect all the areas of life if we do not deal with it. So but my work, visioning and visualization, I help people see and I help them stay focused. And I also introduce them to principles and methods of the law of attraction, which is, of course, from our scriptural book, which says that as a man thinketh, so is he. So I help them know how to master their thoughts in the area of their goals so that they can work towards it and attract it. And of course, know how to use their mind, to achieve what they want, even in the worst kind of situation. Now, visioning and special needs, and children with special needs, I, you know, I must say that this is an area that I am very passionate, about, especially when I came before the work of Helen Keller, okay, who we know who was a visionary leader. And I don't know if you know about her. Do you know Helen Keller?
Yes, of course I do. I
All
do.
right. And it was reading her biography and all of that was just mind blowing at the time. And for me, it
To
opened
think
my
that
eyes more.
she was blind and she did so much. Really,
Yes, yes.
it's worthy of celebrating. Yes.
Yes, she was deaf blind and she did a whole lot, all right? And nothing stopped her. So I just thought to myself, I've got so many friends and I've got family members who fall in that category. And that even made me more passionate in that area. Like, look, you can actually become, and looking at Helen and many other people in the world who have done that, I believe that it is possible if we can truly tap into the power of visioning and also use some of these methods of visualization to help people with special needs, to get to see the future and truly bring out their potential, the power that is within them.
Wow. Thank you so much. While you're speaking, a nugget dropped. You're blind, yet you have vision. Really? So it's not about the sight alone. It's not about the disability. It's about the mindset. Really, it's about the mindset. Thank you for that. Angela, I was speaking to you before Ellen. I mean, I said Ellen Keller before Selim came back on the show, and I said I always love to have parents or individuals with special needs when we're talking about finding out with special needs because there's a saying in the field of disability that there's nothing about us without us. So we can only say the much we know based on theoretical knowledge, practical knowledge, but it's better to be heard from the horse's mouth, so to say. You alone know where the pain hurts when you're putting on the shoe, where the shoe hurts, so to say. And then okay, so yeah, are you there, Angela? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. Sorry about that. Yeah.
So I remembered we had one of the episodes, I think 2, 3 episodes away ago or four, and one of the fresh professional in the house was asking, I wonder why parents of children with special needs have to wait this long before they think of. I think it was we're talking about um, planning a transitioning for children with special needs. Why don't you pick up a plan and think about the future, as opposed to looking for a cure? Because we all know to a certain extent that disability and it's lifelong. It could be, I mean, it could get better. We could move from the severe case if there's proper intervention to the moderate case and then to the mild cases. But she was asking the question, why did you have to wait till the child is 14, 13, 14, to teenager age before starting of a life for that child? And there was something emotional that Mrs. Ifeko White said. She said, you know what? We thought things would get better. We thought they would heal. The way she said it was so emotional. Oh, we thought it would go away. And that's why, I mean, our daughter is a teenager, and she said, but when we dawned on us, we started to pick up, and see what we can do with them. We're focusing on healing the disability before thinking of the child as an individual first. And I'm particularly excited that you are here with us because your son, whom I knew when he was like 2, 3, is 10, going to teenage age right now. And I know for you, you've been there, you've done that. And I wanted to just you to explain to us how you feel visioning will help your own, I mean, at what you've done when it comes to planning and visualizing for your child beyond just the special needs or the disability. What are the plans you thought you could have? At what point did you realize that, look, I'm not going to focus on his ability to speak alone, to socialize alone. I need to think about the future in a bigger light. At what point did you think of that? And what are the things you put in place before we come to the professionals to walk us through on things to think about when we're talking about children with special needs and visualization?
Okay. I think say this as a parent. Um, I think most parents for a long time dwell in that denial zone. For some parents, luckily they come out of it quickly. Some for some it takes much longer to just come out of that zone. So, but thankfully, I was able to. I had my period of denial, but I was able to just rise above it and then tell myself like, man, this thing is what it is, and then I start working on how to make my son's life better for his sake and my sake as well. Like Celine said, when it comes to visioning, yes, we all want our kids to go to school. We want them to do math. We want them to be good at English. The truth of the matter is, some children may not thrive in those areas. You can try all you want to try. Some luckily will learn to read. Some will learn to write. Most will learn to read and write. Some may not. So I think for visioning, you have to start planning even as early as you can, you know, for the future of that child. You plan now for the future. You don't wait till you get to the future to start planning. And then one of the ways I think to do that is you ask yourself, okay, fine, what are the areas of this child's strength?
Yeah.
I would say you ask yourself, okay, how are we going to get to what we are visioning? Why do we want that for the child? and then what exactly it is we want for the child. Um, when you say what do you want this child to be in future, for typical kids, I hear them say, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. For children with special needs, it may not be the case. Yes, some high functioning children can eventually go to the university, graduate, and be all of that. But for those that are not so high functioning, what are their options? You ask yourself that, your child's strength, you know. So you focus on what you want or what you think this child can be in the future. And how do you do that? I read recently and I posted it on, I think, on my Facebook and Instagram page about Michael Phelps, the gold medalist is in swimming. Yeah, he's won so many medals in swimming, and he had ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is one of the conditions that children on the autism spectrum present. So what his mom did was she made him swim from the age of 14. It was said that he swam every day. He practiced swimming every day, 247, 365 days a year. That was the area of strengthening. Here he is today, he's a gold medalist and all of that. So these children may not be able to do everything. That's the idea of selected discipline. You pick one or two maybe areas of strength, and then you focus on it, and then you make the child form a habit of practicing this. You might have a child, it depends on the child's age. My son is I think he's still too young to start making him cut hair and all that. It might be a stylist. The child might be a very good clothes stylist, might be a very good barber, you know. But you start at the right age, it depends on the age of the child, and start to hone those skills so that when the child reaches a particular age, he can live, the aim and the focus, especially for children with even for typical people, is to live an independent life. So you don't want a child that will cling to you for the rest of his life. You want
No.
a child that can live independently, that can hone his skills, and that can
Mm.
be a success in that area of strength. So you ask yourself, what is this area of strength? And then to get to that, sorry, I won't take too much of your time. Let me just, you have to
No, that's fine.
be able to do what we call a preference assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You find out, you expose the child to a lot of things, a
Different
lot of
things,
things.
yes.
It can be playing piano, it can be playing the violin, it can be sewing, it can be hairdressing, it can be reading, it can be writing if he's good at that. And then you do this over a period of time, and then you find out, okay, fine, this is this area, and I've seen that this child prefers to do this. Because you don't want to force the child to do something he doesn't want to do.
No.
And then when you've done that, you say, okay, yes, this is this area of strength. Let's start. And then you move. And then deliberately, habitually, you expose the child to this thing every day of his life. I tell you, by the time that child is of age to use that skill to function in the society, he would most likely than not be an expert at it. So I think one of the problems that special needs parents of children with special needs have is they want the child to do everything. They want the child to, oh, I want my child to do this. I want my child to learn to swim. I want my child to do this. The child might not be. It can be very overwhelming, even for a typical child. So the best bet is to focus on one or two areas of strength, make it a habit of the child for the child to, hone his skills in that area, and then move, move. He uses that to live a functional life in the society when he grows up. So that's my take on visioning
Mm.
and what parents can do for their children. Just
Mm.
select a
Thank you
discipline
so
and
much.
go for it. Yeah.
Fantastic. I wanted to be the first to speak, like I said, because you are a parent living the talk. Let me use that way. You're not just talking, you're living it. So it's better to hear from you before we now go to our guru when envisioning, who could not tell us the technical or the core processes of visioning. But I wanted us to take it bit by bit before I wanted us to look at, because I believe that we can't talk about visioning when a parent, him or herself, because most I always say ourselves, because we find out that statistics show that mothers are the ones always at the driver's seat when it comes to
Yeah.
children with special needs. A large percentage of our mothers are the one. But we also find out that when it comes to area of the stages of um, grief, where we talk about denial and all of the be angry and asking why me before we now get to the area aspect of acceptance. All those stages before acceptance, that individual, the parent of that child, needs to understand where he or she is going before you can think of visioning for any child. So I wanted to look at it in both ways. I would want Selling to help us make a case study of a child probably who is let thankfully Angela is here with who is a mother of a child with a neurodevelopmental delay. Oh, and we won't look at, let's take, what case study should we take? Because I don't want to use Angela because she's here. We could have, she could speak for herself. Let's take a parent of a child who probably she gave back to the child, and suddenly the child was not born with cerebral palsy, for example. Or Selling, what disability are you comfortable with? Have you had contact with? Let's even start with that. What category?
Um, Blind and I'm sorry, and um,
Deafness?
yes, and deafness. Yeah.
Okay, so let's pick that case study. So I gave that to my child. Well, doctor certified the child okay, is hearing, he can see. And then after a year, I realized that I sent him to get something in the kitchen. He keeps bumping his head. And I'm wondering what's happening here. My child was okay for a whole year. And then I get to the hospital, I was giving some medication. And before I know it, the second week, my child cannot also hear. How do
Yeah.
I start visioning for that child when I am already in a state of, is this
Yeah.
how my life is going to be all my life? So let's talk about the parent before they see the visioning for the child. What should visioning look like for that parent? Because you can't give what you do not have. What are the
Yeah.
processes of thinking of what the vision about? What do I need to see? Because I know that vision is about sight, seeing, not physical seeing, but seeing. What are the processes before I now think of, okay, now I've gotten myself. How do I plan or visioning for
Okay.
that child? So let's start with the parent and then we'll work towards the process for the child. And while we're saying that, when we're talking about that, Angela, you're here for a purpose to speak on behalf of every other parent of children with special needs to ask questions that they may not be able to ask, so that when they watch the replay, they will be able to say, oh, this was really useful for me because I wasn't able to ask, but you did that job for us. Are we on the same page?
Yes, we are.
Thank you. Angela, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Good, good. So is my question clear, Celine?
Yes, it is clear.
Thank you.
All right. First of all, I would truly, truly like to commend parents who have children with special needs. I don't know how it feels, but I'm a mother, and I also know what it feels like when your child, has a condition, which of course I'm dealing with one on my daughter's skin. All right. I truly want to commend moms, parents, who are wearing that hat. Now, the way we are, or the way things happen, things about to happen. If things can happen differently, it can happen in the area of health, it can happen in any area of life, at all. But we cannot stop things from happening. Things will happen, things will look ugly, things will look bad. But the question there is, what do we do? Now, speaking from the area of visioning, and I'm going to bring in a little bit of our thought pattern, all right? How we can align it with this. Now, when we are faced with these things, it can really do a whole lot to us as parents, all right, as individuals, those who are caring, for these people. But we need to realize one thing, that there's a whole lot that is inside of us and inside of those children. Everyone who has been created here on earth came with a special seed, a special package, a blooming seed, all right? Yes, they came in a unique way, And that does not mean that they do not have that inside of them. I know that when things happen to us, we go through, according to my work, there are stages that we go through. You mentioned some of that already. There's the place of blame. There's a place where you're asking questions, why me? And there's that place where you now come to the point of acceptance. Actually look at it this way, that if we can realize early to learn to accept some of these things that life throws at us, it will be easier, and it will be a lot easier for us to drive towards the future. But then we have to allow life, we have to allow time, to play out. And what I like to say to parents is that when we are faced with things like these, it's important for us to know that these children are connected to us emotionally and every other way. We are the ones thinking for them. We are the ones feeling for them. Whatever we display, whatever emotions we bring to play, is actually going to lead us to the point that we would be able to carry them on this journey. All right? Because at that point, they are helpless. They don't even know what is going on around. They don't even understand themselves. So it is us, the people they have around them, we, the parents, who have to shoulder all of that. So in our process, through the process of thinking, of blaming, of going through, all the emotional things that just come around when you come to the realization that your child is faced with something like this. In the process of doing that, we truly, truly want to also think within us that, look, I need to strengthen up for this child. I need to think for this child. I need to be emotionally strong for this child this minute. Because if we are not, we will not be able to think inspired thoughts on how we can be able to move. When we find ourselves in those, bringing out those emotions, those strong emotions, which we call energy, all right? We don't tend to think towards the direction that we want to, because we are not clear. There's everything going on within us. There's anger, there's no excitement. Of course, there's nothing to be excited about at that minute. All right. So it's important for us to know that we need to take hold of our minds. We need to take hold of our thoughts. We need to take hold of our feelings at that point, so that we can help and so that we can be that parent or guardian with full strength, to reach out to see ways that we can work towards that. It's very key for us to realize that we can't lose ourselves in the journey. We cannot. Yes, these things happen. Yes, we are faced with this. It has happened. In the law of attraction, we call it coming to the place of acceptance, where you sit down and you truly look at the situation in the face and you say, yes, I know you're here. I know you're here to stay. Where you go and you learn everything about it. And when you do that, it loosens you up a little so that you can be able to think in ways that you can begin to look at the future of this child and not the current circumstance. Lola, you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here. I can hear you. So that's for the parents. Thank you so much for walking parents through, because the part of the world we're in, there's not enough psychosocial support for parents of children with special needs. Once you say, oh, they're like, oh, maybe we don't have enough support, so to say, when it comes to psychosocial support, mental health, because all of the stages you've mentioned, we always need professionals to walk parents through those stages before they can now think, okay, now I am good. Now I have everything together. I've gotten to the place of acceptance. Now I can think of what future I have for my child. And then the question now goes, how do I go about it? Before you go on to add to what we can, when it comes to visioning, particularly using a case study of probably an individual who is visually impaired or blind or hearing impaired or deafness, I'd want Angela to chip in one or two things about what you had said. You know, Angela, I don't know if you comfortable telling us what the journey was like when you realized that your child was diagnosed with autism. Was it the same for you? How did you bounce to where you are? Because like I said, I truly celebrate you. I admire your courage. I knew the beginning, and I each time I speak with you, I see how far you've come. I mean, if every parent would pick up themselves from the grief to the denial and the questioning to where you accept, and not just accepting, turning the lemon into lemonade, and not just
Yeah.
for your son alone. You are doing it for other parents. It took something. How?
Mm,
How did you get there? What did you do? What were the things that kept you on? And you got
mm,
over yourself. It was more not about you anymore. And then you went ahead to see things beyond not just your child to other children, to be able to support them. And when you answer that question, we'll now go back to selling, walking us through the stages of visioning, using the case study we talked about. But before we do that, I want to appreciate every of our guests that has joined in from our various platforms, from YouTube, on our website, on my personal Facebook page, on Cadet Academy page. Thank you so much. I want you, if you know you're getting value from this, I want you to share this video right now. Share it, make your comments. I know some of us have questions, and I don't want us to start rushing our guests towards the end of the show so we can finish on time. Throw out your questions right now on issue of visioning, on how to overcome the stages of grief, and how to steadily plan for that child with special. Remember, we can't talk about every disability. So our case study today will be on a person who is visually impaired and who is hearing impaired, who want to plan, want to see this, what visioning will look like, thinking of what the person, the things they need to put in place, And thankfully, Angela is here. She's a mother of a child with autism, who is 10-year-old now. I know what that means, And she will also help us out with some of the questions that you may have when it comes to children. So we are looking at, in Nigeria, like I said, whenever we talk about disability, we look at children with physical disability, and we talk less about children with autism and learning disability, or children with intellectual
yeah.
disability. So Angela is here to help us out with such questions, and Selene is here to also help us out with physical impairment. So we have a balance today. But before we go again, we'll go on a very short break, a 1 minute break, and then we'll be back. Do not go anywhere. Stay put, and then we'll be back so that we can go back and forth with our questions. Thank you all so very much. I think I have a little bit of technical issue right now. So let's go on. Again, our guests, please do not forget to leave your audience. Your questions matter to us. We are here because of you. Okay. So back to you, Angela. Tell us what it was like and how you were able to turn this lemon into lemonade. Because it's all about vision, and I'm sure you saw something. You saw beyond what was right in your face, really. So tell us what the process was like for you.
My son was diagnosed when he was 2 years. Um, hmm. After the diagnosis, I had 1 year to live in denial.
Hmm.
I put him in a regular, typical school. The teachers were good. The classroom had three teachers, a teacher and two assistants. So they were able to cope. But after 2 semesters there, I said, I just saw that, man, by the time this guy moves to the next class and then they probably don't have enough hands, I knew it was going to be a challenge because uh, one of the comorbid um, behaviors he presents is the ADHD. He had attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. So I knew I had to get help at that point. You see, the thing about you as a parent, you never really, I can't say you completely come out of that
Yeah.
denial phase. You
Yeah.
know, there are times, there are good days, there are bad days. There are days when you're like, oh my goodness, will this thing ever go away? There are days when your child is, is good days when he's he's properly behaved, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is good. And there are days when you're like, oh my goodness, are we going forward? Are we going backward? You
Yeah.
know. But the thing is, in all of this, I can say, when you put the right strategies in place,
Yeah.
the bad days become less and less. And I can tell you that um it's the
When
denial
you say the
phase
right
is
strategies, when you say the right strategies, what was it for you? I want you to be very practical with us because some people are
specific.
wondering,
Okay.
okay, what are the strategies? They're listening. What strategies? Okay, I want to be
Yeah.
like you. What exactly did you do? Because your story for me is a
Okay.
success story, really.
Amen. So after 2 semesters in the typical school, I had to put him at Lola's place. We put him at Cadet
I didn't see
Academy.
that coming. I thought you were going to tell us the strategies.
We put him there to get the right intervention. Because truth of the matter is, the way you teach a typical child is not the way you teach a child with special needs. They learn differently. Um, for those that have attention deficits, you have to have one teacher per child, so that the teacher can concentrate on teaching the child, and the child can concentrate on listening to the teacher and learning from what the teacher teaches. So we had to put him in a special needs academy, Lola Space, you know, and we saw improvements. We saw improvements. He didn't have speech and all of that. Um, he right now he's in a typical school, but he has support. I think what I can say to parents is, you don't just throw your child in a mainstream school when you haven't assessed properly if that child can function well. Get the child help, put the child in a special needs school or center. If a lot of parents have issues with, oh, I don't want my child in a special needs school, he will go and learn bad habits from the children there, this and that and that and that. And then I say to them, if it was so easy to learn bad habits, then they would have picked up the good ones, watching the typical children behave properly. So,
Yes.
kids with special needs, they don't learn automatically. You have to teach them to learn. Two phases of teaching with them. You teach them how to learn. They don't learn automatically. So I always say that to them. But for those that are adamant, I always say, okay, fine. If you want this child in a mainstream school, you have to, you know, agree with the school that a support teacher will work with that child in the school, because there's no point that child being in a typical school. Oh, you're just feeling good, my child is in a typical school and he's not learning. I've seen cases, I've seen children, I've seen mothers bringing their 11-year-old, 12-year-old that don't even know what com is. And I ask, and some of them knew that this child had a problem from the early ages, 2 3. I said, what were you doing? Oh, okay. Some of them will say their husband said there's nothing wrong with the boy. I said, you can see that there's a problem here. And so they just put the child in a school. The child just goes to school, roams about, maybe just sits in the classroom and is not getting anything. You know, it takes that. That's why I say it takes longer for some parents. But I don't know. Some parents are stubborn as well. You know, they say special needs children, and some of them have special needs parents, parents that need help as well. You tell them these things, it's so clear, and then some parents are just not ready to take it. Those ones stay in denial for so long and all of that. So you have to, like I said, you have to take deliberate steps, make deliberate
Yeah.
deliberate effort. You know, yes, it will cost you money, because the government does not pay for any of this. It will cost you money, but you can make that sacrifice. For those that like designer bags, I say, please forget that Gucci bag, forget that. Focus on this child's education. Focus on this
Yeah.
child getting better, because tomorrow it will come back and bite you if you don't do anything for this child. You will
Mm.
be stuck with him. He will stay with you. You just have an adult child in your hands, and then You won't even be able to carry the designer bag that you wanted to carry or go on the trips that you wanted to go on freely. So why don't you make those sacrifices now? Make out, let me tell parents, make the sacrifice, make all the necessary sacrifices you can now. Now that the child is still in his developmental stages, put in all you can. The Bible says, having done all stand. Do everything, try it, do. Spend that money that you have to spend. Don't keep it for other frivolous things. Your child is your priority. So do what you need to do and then get the help you need to get so that tomorrow you don't look at your child and you start asking yourself, oh, if only I had known, you do the coulda, woulda, shoulda thing, and by then it's too late. So that's I think that's my advice to parents. I've
So
I've
that was
I've had
what those were the
to,
steps you took, you know.
yeah,
And then not only did you do that,
yes,
you actually went on to
oh yes,
acquire
to be
knowledge.
trained. Exactly,
Yeah.
because I couldn't just. I say this thing when the child spends, how many hours can the child spend in school? Maybe 6, 7, 8 hours at the most.
Mm.
Then he's back home with you. So what do? Do you look at him and then he looks at you and then you just start from square one and maybe you spoil everything that that child has been taught in school. So I think that was what spurred me to get to acquire knowledge. I approached my sister here, Lola, yeah, come and teach me this thing. I need to know this thing. So I got, I got trained by Lola. And after that, I also did some other trainings, just so I could help him even at home as well, and then help other children, with the knowledge I was able to acquire, in teaching children with special needs. So yes, I would advise that parents, even if you can't do, oh, you can't go all out and do the deep, 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 deep training, but do the basic ones so that when the child comes home, he has a very good support system in you at home. When you have a maid or nanny at home, you can tell them, okay, this is what you do when he does this. But when the child comes home to a completely clueless family,
Mm,
it is
mm,
not good. The skills he has learned in school cannot be generalized at home. They will spoil it.
mm,
And then you hear of, oh, a child that is behaving very well in school, and then when he gets home, he's not able to do anything. Just because the people at home they're not equipped. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They're clueless. So parents should also get the basic training, on how to just handle your child, socially, and then just as a form of generalizing what he has learned in school. So that way it even kind of like concretizes, what the teachers are doing in school, and then it just flows and all of that. So I had to get, the training. I trained with Lola. I trained I got the applied behavior analysis training as well, and I'm now, to the glory of God, board certified and all of that. It was a journey. It wasn't easy. It wasn't convenient
mm,
for me, but I
Yeah.
had to do it. Every time I see my child, I'm like, oh my God, no, 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 no. I have to try and know this thing so that I can help this child the best way I can.
mm,
And so I think that
mm,
was one of the things that scared me. I don't want, honestly, I say this, I don't want my son to live with me when he's older. I want him to go out there. I want him to be able to run a business if that's what he's going to do, if that's what he wants to do. I want him to be able to make money. I want him to be able to, well, if possible, get married, have children, and all of that. But I can't do that just sitting tight and then crying all day long, oh, and saying, no, who did this to me? Which went from my village did this to me, and all of that.
mm,
I had to rise up and work. And each day I see
mm,
him, I'm like, no, 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 let's do this, let's do this, let's work, let's do what we need to do to just get things right. So
mm,
I would say to parents, get the basic training, spend the money, you know. I wish our government could be more involved, but they are not, And then for those that may not be financially able, there are NGOs that support children. I run an NGO as well, you know,
mm,
that support children and all of that. So don't sit down and think that this thing will ah, ah, just go away. Ah, no, now. Okay, okay, fine. Even if you think it's going to go away, one day. You can't leave that to chance. Still work.
mm,
And then if it goes
mm,
away, all well and good. Do you get? Better to err on the
mm.
side of caution than just
Caution.
to sit down and hope that it just goes away, and then you wake up 20 years later, it hasn't gone away, and then the thing is still staring you in the face. So
Mm,
do all you can and keep hope alive. It's good. It's good to be hopeful. It's not a bad thing, but don't be hopelessly hopeful. I don't even know how to speak that English. So don't open your eyes and see,
yeah.
open your eyes and see and do what you have to do, so that just in case the miracle that you're waiting for does not happen, you're working out your own miracle. Miracles come
Mm,
in different forms. It might not just
Yes.
mm,
be the instant thing. It might be the gradual one. And then the
Yes.
gradual
mm,
one can come. You have to work it out too. You have to work
mm.
it out. So don't be
True.
lazy. Don't say, oh, go ahead. And it will just happen like that. No, 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 no. Do something. Shake your body. Stand up. Rise up. Cry if you want to cry. But rise up. After crying, clean your eyes. Rise up and do what you need to do. Yes, you have
Mm,
bad days. You have good days. But keep rising up. Keep getting up and continue. It's a journey.
mm,
It's a
mm,
journey. It's not an easy one, but when you see the dividends, when you see the progress, when you see the improvements, you'll be so, so, so encouraged to do more. So that's what I can
mm,
say to parents. Don't sit down and say, what is that? This special needs school. They're charging too much. This one, that one, that. See, it's yourself you're doing, just package and arrange yourself properly and help your child. At the end of the
mm,
day, he is your child. He is not
mm,
the administrator of the special needs child. He is your child. You're the one that will either enjoy or, for want of a better word, suffer it in future if you don't do anything.
mm,
So that's my advice to my fellow parents. We're in
mm.
this together. Let us try
I
and
need
help our
someone in
children.
that from the person that has been there, done that. Because I know
Yes,
Angela
exactly.
is really trying to be modest, really and truly. I know every step she had taken, and she's just trying to be modest. Let me just use it that way. But you know what? Tell me when she was speaking. Tell me if I'm wrong, and tell me if I'm a good student. If Angela's story is not visioning, then what is visioning for parents? No,
You-
really, because like she had answered the question for when I'm asking what should vision look for parents. She had done. Am I correct? Because I'm thinking,
she
what is
she
vision if you have not picked
is.
yourself up, if you've not charted the pathway, and then equip yourself? Because she said a lot of things, and that's what I keep saying to parents of children with special needs. Don't. It's not even with neurotypical children. Don't dump your kids with the school. Be a part of it. Research has shown that parents who are involved in their children's learning, the kids do better, they thrive better. So while she was speaking, I'm like, this is vision enough for parents. We don't need any professional to tell us that. Am I correct, Excellent?
Look, you know what? She is just a perfect example of someone who uses or understands the power of visioning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I was just itching when she was talking, like, wow, I was really excited. It's just the power of visioning. She was able to apply. Look, she looked at the power of now, walking
Mm-hmm.
towards the future. Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand? The part where she said that, when parents take their children to children, parents with special needs who have special needs children, when they take them to normal school, I don't know what they're going there to do. It's like,
Oh, she'll be back. She'll be back. But just to buttress that point that Angela said, and I get, okay, she's back. This is so good.
I'm back, and I'm
Yeah, you're back. Oh my God.
so when
Yeah, go
you
on.
when you do that, when it shows, lack of visioning, because what are you going to do in abattoir when what you're looking to buy is vegetables? Do you get what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
So you need to be clear when we are faced with situations like that. We truly need to look at it. What she did was she faced it head on, and she went fast. She went a long way. She said so many striking things, Lola, and I think that she has just finished my job here for me. I don't
No,
need
she
to even
hasn't. You have to tell us about that child.
I don't
So
even
she
need
did
to
her own
say
part as a
much.
parent. So looking at my child, okay, okay, how do I? What are the steps? Are there resources I need to buy to the child have to see? Because also seeing it, seeing the future. I know about visioning. Having to see. So let's do that case study we talked about. Saying, look, now I am Angela. I've taken care of me, and I want to give to that child. I want to help the child. I want to what's that word I should use? Visioning for that child. What should it look like? I know you do sessions, paid sessions, but for the benefit, I mean, because of the friendship, the fringe benefit, the friendship we have from what is going on, and for the sake of just like what Angela said, the government is really not doing much, and this program is an NGO arm of Cadet Academy. Could you walk us through what vision and what should I prepare if my child doesn't understand? I'm going to be probably I'm seeing that this child has we've done our assessment of the child what the child loves, and I'm like, okay, oh, it seems to be very good at playing piano. How does this see what a pianist look like? All those things. I want you to walk us through what a visioning process should look like for a child that probably we've given an example of the disability, and these are the things the child like. What should the visioning process look like?
All right,
Everything we need to
Lola.
do if we have to. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. Thank you very much, Lola. You know the parts where Angela said, sorry, I'm going back to Angela. Angela, I need
Yeah,
to look
Angela's
for
our
you.
case study somehow today.
you know, you know the part where Angela said that she desires or she wants for her child to get married tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
She also wants for her child to do whatever he wants to do freely, become a business person and, explore. That's what she's trying to say, to live
Mm.
life to the now. There's the point. When we look at our children and we notice, because of course there are stages, right? It comes to a stage where we begin to see that there's a particular thing that they keep exhibiting, especially when we open them up to different things, all right? We see that there's a particular one that they give attention to, or it is that draws them, or their energy is driven towards that particular activity or that particular thing. Now, we need to be very observant as parents because I said earlier that we are the ones thinking for them at the early stage. We are the ones feeling for them at the early stage, all right? So we need to be in a place. That's the reason why it's important for us to deal with every situation internally, all right? On the inside, so that we are clear and we are open and we are in a place of peace to truly identify these things when we notice them. Now, when our mind is not one and we are not aligned and we are not in that place where we are free to receive from the place of anger, negativity, or anything that sets in from the situation, all right, what is before us. When we do not deal with those things, we will not be able to truly identify when we have opened them to these things and they are exhibiting, we might miss it, okay? So first of all, as carers or caregivers or parents, what we want to do is to quickly make sure that we come to that place of acceptance and tell ourselves, what do we do now at this stage? This thing is like this. At this stage, this level, what do we do? All right? You deal with it. For Angela, what did Angela do? Angela took her child to a special needs school, all right, where the child will be able to get all of that. She did not listen to hearsay. She did not allow limiting beliefs to hold her back. What if I go there because it happened with this person or this person said that? What if I take my child there and my child picks on old habits or what? Because she was hell bent on solution, because she was in a place where she embraced it and she said, all I want to do at this stage is to find solution, is to give the best to this child. Where do I take this child to? Let me take the child to a place where people who know how to handle this situation can care for this child, all right? Instead of keeping the child in a place where the child is roaming around. Angela came to that point early where she made that decision. And when she did that, because of her focus and her level of desire in wanting to see her child advance, all right, she took a step further to do what? To learn more, to know what it would take, to be empowered, to be equipped with the right tools, so that when these teachers are not there, she's able to do that in her home, in her environment. For Angela to have come to that point, Angela dealt with some things on the inside. Angela did not even think of what would hold her back. She's telling us about not looking at the financial area, having to leave some things right now. Just delay some things for the moment. A time is going to come where she's going to, truly fly and enjoy it, all right? But at that stage, she was saying, right now, I want to delay gratification. I want to just see that my child, gets the best. And I also want to see that I am on the journey to give the best, where she acquired knowledge, where I always say that knowledge is light and power, all right? Which Angela has also used in this situation. Now, as parents, when we have these children before us, we need to come to a place like Angela, where we make that decision. It first of all starts with the decision. The decision for us to say that we want to see the future of this child. We want to walk on this journey. We don't know what the future holds, but we believe this is what we want. This is what we desire in this area for our child. Even in this situation, we want them to live and to pass through the phase so that it will be a lot easier for them, so that they can get to the point where they can begin to enjoy life on their own. All right? So when we have children faced with this and we expose them to the activities that we need them, that we want them to learn, or we want to identify that which they give attention to or focus on, or that which drives their energy, we truly want to become. First of all, you want to become, as a parent, on the inside. You want to truly have at the back of your mind that all that I want is the best, is what is going to help my child be the best, even if not now, in future. But at the moment, now, what I am going to have to do to help my child nurture this. Now, we truly have to look away from the situation half the time. We have to do it intentionally. I know it is not easy, because I have experienced one or two things in that area where I still even go back, even though I feel like I've mastered my mind in some ways. I still have to go back to think, when will this thing end? All right. But then she is not ignoring that part. But the vision, what is within her, is driving her to see her child in future become something. Okay. So when we have these children like that, we truly want to help them identify that, be in a place of peace, oneness, wholeness as a parent, internally. A place where you're not contemplating, a place where you're not allowing limited beliefs or other people's experiences drive you. A place where you say to yourself, I am hell-bent on knowing what my child can do. So first of all is to be in a place where you're calm, because when you're calm, you can quickly see it and pick it. And then when you're able to do that, you want to get an expert in that area, especially who knows how to deal with children with special needs, all right? So that they can begin to take them on the journey appropriately, not taking them to a center where, they have regular children, or, no, take them to people who can help them in that area, to help them draw it out, to help them on the journey step by step. Okay? Because I believe that they're not supposed to be rushed. I believe that we are supposed to teach them, walk with them. So the first thing you want to do is to become internally, so that you can be able to see what your child is good at. Then you take the step of doing what? Getting an expert. And you need to partner with that expert as a parent or a caregiver to be able to achieve that. Now, don't forget, what is driving you as a parent is the future of that child. Just imagine what it would be like if your child, who is faced with that situation, who is in that place that he or she does not even understand, just imagine what it would be like for your child to rise, even in that situation, to become great in life. That is where you want to bring in a little visualization and put before you images of people who were in that situation but achieved. That's where you want to put it before you, so that it would drive you and inspire you, so that it would push you towards that future that you desire for your child.
So just coming real quick, I love the part that you said. That's where you look at people that have been to where you're going, literally, and then you put the image right in front of you. Does it mean that I have to always have the image right in front of me? How do I practicalize that? What is the practical way of putting that image right in front of you?
All right, putting that image right in front of you is going to do three or more things for you, but I'll mention a few. Number one, putting that image before you is truly going to inspire you. Of course, there are days where you're going to be down. Of course, there are days where you're going to feel like, why me? Why my child? And all of that. But when you look at that image before you of someone who has been through, who was in that situation, but did a whole lot and has even gone out to really impact or, touch lives by their story or their situation. When you have that before you, it inspires you. And then when you're already on the journey of walking towards that which you desire for your child, your level, you're going to be, there's a level of sacrifice where you put everything in, your resources, your time, your energy, your sleep, and all of that. When you have that image before you, it's more like you're saying, I know that it will get better, because if it happened to this, it will happen to me, especially for those who are believers. We know that God is God for all. What happens for one can happen for all. So that image before you as a visualization tool is going to help you stay focused. It's going to motivate you to move when you do not feel like. It's going to inspire you, because it's going to begin to, as you focus on it and you're on that journey with your child, what's going to happen is that the future that you desire for your child is going to be more strengthened in your mind, which will begin to move you, in your physical towards all the activities, the knowledge, and everything that you need to do to help your child develop or bring that out, which is within them. So
Oh dear, she'll be back. I asked that question deliberately because I've seen cases where you just find someone looking at a picture all the time. And I wonder, why is she looking at that picture? And they will go, Miss Selling said we should always
sorry about
have the
that.
picture in front of us. So I
Yes.
wanted to clarify that what ways can I add the pictures? I believe in visioning, and I do it a lot. So I see myself going to places, I see myself doing some things, and I get those kind of pictures. I'm looking at it. It inspires me, and I'm like, someday we're gonna get there. We work towards it. We're glad to have you back. Please go on.
When there's a whole lot going on around us, right? We give focus to the situation. And when we give focus to that situation, and we're giving power to that situation, whether negative or positive, all right? So now with what is going on, we know deep within us that we would have preferred for this to be different. But as it is that it is this way, what do? We cannot keep focusing on that which is going wrong, on that which is not happening the way we want. What do we want? What do we want for our child? What do we truly desire? Which is where I really commend Angela. Angela, because of that within her, even if she did not know it was her practicing some kind of visualization or visioning, maybe today it will come to light that is the journey she's been on without even knowing. Even if she did not know, she was already practicing it within her. All right. When you in your mind, you know that this is here, but I want my child to have the best, but I want my child to grow up to become this. Okay. So what we truly want to do is to bring in that visualization, in the power of visualization, which is focusing on that which we want, that which we want to see ahead of us, to drive us, so that the journey we are taking, we begin to take it from now towards that time, so that when we look at the child, we feel hopeful. All right. In some way that, look, with what I see before me, I know you will be great. And with what I have identified that you are good at, or I see that you're leaning towards, I'm going to find ways to help you do that. Look, when we discover the aspect of what our children truly are giving energy to, and we begin to magnify that, it's going to do a lot to us. It's going to put us in a place where we are happy. And in a place where you're happy is a place where you're quick to run. It's a place where you're quick to think. It's a place where you think to apply knowledge that you have to help that, because there's an excitement that is going to come within you. Because when you're faced with this situation, you truly are hopeful. Sorry, you lose hope in some ways, all right? But when you begin to see that your child is making progress in an area, it excites you. And that feeling of excitement is what you truly want to bring in to drive you through that journey to get your child to where your child needs to be. Okay? So, and that's the part where we talk about the law of attraction. What you focus on expands. What you focus on, you attract. What you fear the most, you attract. If you're constantly in fear of, I will not let my child, no, I cannot expose my child, no, I cannot do this, no, let the child be safe, we cannot allow the child to think or to stretch. If you are in that area, you're boxing your child in, you're putting your child in a box. Allow them to explore, because I know children, kids with special needs are loving. I have been around children with Down syndrome, and I tell you, they are the children with the purest of nature, harmless, loving. When they smile at you, something within you jumps. All right. So you truly want to allow your child to explore as you work with them. That's the reason why I said in the beginning, your emotion does matter. Your energy that you release is very important as a parent and as a caregiver. All right. You want to be in a place where you're excited, even when the situation does not look it. With the power of visioning and seeing where you want your child to be, it will excite you. And when it excites you, you transfer that energy into your child, because energy transfers. All right. You're the person who spends the most time with them. You are injecting the right energy into them. So when they are discovered, when you discover that which they are good at, that energy is what powers that thing and brings it out. It's a combination of you and that child, because your child needs you to come out of that. So we shouldn't box our children. Don't box them in. Allow them to explore, expose them so that you can be able to identify that, so that you can hold on to it and begin to work on that journey. Now, in the part of visualization, what do you do in that area? Please go and check the internet. Go around the world and check. Look for pictures of people, images of people who have excelled in that area. Put it before you. When I mean print it out, put it, create a visualization board, which we call the vision board, and is also called the dream board. Put it before you, where you spend the most time with your child. Put your child's picture in the middle of your vision board. Surround your picture, your child's picture, with pictures of great people who were in that situation, or who or anything around that, but still were able to do great things. All right. Surround your child's picture with pictures of those people and put it right there, what you want to see, so that you can be speaking it, so that your words, your thoughts, your emotions, and everything will be one, aligned, to help you go on that journey as a parent. And I tell you, Lola said something. Angela turned her lemon into lemonade. I'm an expert when it comes to that, all right? I teach people how to turn lemon to lemonades. Any situation, lemonade, any situation you find yourself in, I tell you, it is not there to destroy you. It is there to push you. It is there to give to the world. It is there to transform somebody out there. It is there as a solution. Look at where you are, Angela, how you got out, what you're doing right now. From finding out knowledge, here's the journey, your visioning journey. I will explain it to you. The part where you looked at your child, the part where you came to a place of acceptance, the part where you said, my child cannot go to a regular school. Let me take my child to a place where my child can get the necessary knowledge or need or care that he needs at this time. You took your child, to that place. Now, you took the child to Cadet Academy. That's your last school. That did not stop there. It drove you again. Your vision, is your vision driving you? It drove you again to the point where you said, I want to know more, so that when I know more, I would be able to do it at home. You did not know then that God was preparing you, Angela, for the world. God was preparing you to be here today, so that parents can see you who have lived it. All right. So now you went ahead to learn, so that you know how to do it at home. And then now you're not just doing that. You are out now. You have started yours, helping all the people. Can you see that? You did not allow this situation hold you back. Visioning, the power of vision was moving you all along, and you did not know. It was driving you because of the future that you wanted for your child. You thought about it, and then you began to walk, and you started walking in that area, and you started attracting resources, people, and all the things, because you were more focused on solution. You were more focused on the future. You were focused on that which you truly desire for your child in the future.
Wow. Wow. Angela, is there anything
Mm.
you'd want to add? Because I am just wowed. Like everything I kept on following, I was just nodding all through. And I can bet our audience, our viewers, have been able to pick out quite a number of nuggets. I didn't see most of the things that we're talking about today. I never saw them coming. I just wanted the parents to be on board. I wanted the professional on vision to be on board. And let's see how we can have this for our children, our families of children with special needs. And then Angela became the case study. And then we saw all the steps of visioning. Is there anything you want to add or anything you want to chip in? Because I believe you are that voice for parents. You've been there, you've done that. Anything at all that Selling has missed out on, you want to add because we're about to round up for today.
Uh, Celine has she has said it all. Um, but I'll just add one thing, and this is to parents. The time is now.
Yeah.
You're not gonna wait till tomorrow or next year. The time starts now. Every moment counts. Every day counts. Every week counts. Every month counts, every year counts. The child is not going to be static and wait to be a child for the next 10 years before you make your decisions. He is growing, he's evolving. So now is the time to start. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't say, oh, okay, when it's all good, when I have all my ducks in a row, I'll start. No, start now. No matter how small it is, no matter even if it's bite sizes, just start something now that will help that child evolve, that will help that child acquire the skills he needs to live a functional, independent life. Visualize it,
Hmm.
see it
Yes.
in vision and faith, then
Yes.
work it. There's a working
Yes.
part.
Work.
There's a part of it.
True.
It's not just
Yes.
see and see. You have to work it. So please, I would just say to my fellow parents, start now.
No.
Time is
No.
now. Start now.
Wow. Hmm. Thank you so much. Angela, while you were speaking, I said there might be some parents out there who genuinely would want to say, how can I reach out to this woman? I need her to just talk to me. I want to, but I just need that push. Is it okay for us to share your contact publicly on our website and on our various platforms?
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. We can do
Thank
that.
you for that permission. So for everyone who might be thinking and is watching this, under this video and every other platform they're going to share it on, I'm going to keep, is your email, is it okay to have your email address put there, or which of your contacts would you want us to add there?
It's okay. It's so
Your
okay.
email
You
is
can
fine.
put my email, you can put my
Fantastic,
phone
so that
number.
they can reach out to you.
Mm,
Location is no barrier. Angela has promised us
mm.
and she's given us our words that she's available. Just reach out. She's been there and she's more than happy to walk you through the process. Now, Selin, I'm going to ask you a bigger favor. So I
Okay.
asked Angela, I asked Angela if it was okay for people to reach out to us, to her. Definitely, she had given us a yes. And because it's from Find Out with Special Needs and Lola Aneke and Cadet Academy, is it okay? I know you have different programs that people come in, they make in their paid event on how to visualize or the vision, what I call a program,
Yeah.
vision in itself. And I'm thinking, what if our parents, because like Angela said, it's not about money, sacrifice, there's always a way out. But sometimes
Yes.
they're thinking, oh my God, I don't even have half of what she's asking for. And I know also that you always have different ones that you sponsor programs too. So can
Yeah.
I ask on this platform that if we have parents that reach out to me and say, look, I want this, but I can't afford it, to be able to give us a certain quota to work
Yes.
our parents of children with special needs, to
Yes.
have you walk them through the process of visioning and visualization.
Yes. I will do that. I'll gladly do that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So you've heard it from both of our guests that you can reach out to them. Contact me. You know how to reach me. Lola Aneke. Type my name on Google. Put it under any of the comments, and I'm going to have um, Selin's email address and Angela's email address displayed on every platform that we have shared this video on, even on our YouTube channel, so you can reach out to them. But should you need to be at a proper mentoring or coaching session on visualization, and I cannot genuinely afford it, please reach out to me so I can speak to you on that behalf, or mention our name, mention Cadet Academy, mention Lola Aneke, and Selling will be willing to put you through. And we have come to the end of our finding up this a session of finding up with special needs today. But before we go, I want to say a big thank you to every of our viewers and audience for for the transcriber behind the scene, for everyone that has made this a success. To Mr. Alex, thank you so much. I really truly appreciate you. We always, one of my favorite quotes is from Gandhi that says you should be the change you want to see in the world. Is that Gandhi? I have so many quotes, but I know there's one that says you should be the change you want to see in the world. And for all that we do for our guests, for our interpreter, for everyone that made this a success, I want to say thank you to you. For everyone that has joined us, thank you so much. Let's not just be hearers, like Adela said, there's a doing. Let's do. The only book says, be not hearers alone, but be doers. That is what will make us so the change. All that we're talking about, even the vision itself. If we do not do, only hear. And if we do not do, there won't be any seeing. There won't be seeing because you see now there's answer and there's foresight, but there's a doing to be done. So thank you everyone for joining us. And until I come your way again next week, it is bye-bye. And I'm sure it's bye-bye from Angela and Celine and Mr. Alex had gone. And I know it's the internet, really. But thank you, everyone. Until we come your way again next time. Thank you so much. Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
DYSLEXIA. He give anything to make it go away, even though he knows it's here to stay. But Casey won't give up, no, cause he's way too tough. He's gonna do whatever it takes. He's gonna find a way. Casey never liked school much. All the kids would laugh when he read in class. Teachers tried to help him out, but they didn't know what to do, so they just let it pass. Sometimes he wanted to scream out loud, hide his head in the sound of the clouds. DYSLEXIA. He give anything to make it go away, even though he knows it's here to stay. But Casey won't give up, no, cause he's way too tough. He's gonna do whatever it takes. He's gonna find a way.